I don't know how loud things are going to be, so I may have to adjust volume and what have you. But this is a game I've been playing a lot in my own time, and I've been really enjoying it. I don't know exactly how much time I have into it. Last time I checked, it was over 50 hours. I would assume it's probably over 60 at this point, maybe more. I'd have to look, but this game's been a lot of fun, and I just, well, I use the word fun loosely, but I think what I'm going to do, as much as I like the music in this game, just for the stream, I may drop it down a little bit. So, yeah, I use a controller to play this game. This is on the PC. I've been playing driving games with controllers for so many years. I just find it more natural, personally. Put it at maybe 35%. That will probably be fine. We'll adjust it from there. I can hear it really well. You know what? I'm thinking it's really loud, but that's probably because my headphones are really turned up. Yeah, so I did like little to no prep work coming into this. So it's quite possible that the music isn't really that loud, but I think it's loud because my headphones were turned up. I'll play with it. I don't normally play this with headphones on, so don't really have it tuned for that. All right, let's get started. So if you're not familiar with what SnowRunner is, best way to explain it is it's really it's a driving game, more or less, but it's more about driving trucks and delivering cargo, but also doing exploration, and most of the time you're doing off-roading. So I am quite far in the game. Just give you an idea of progression. I'm 41% done with everything. 74% done with just the Michigan area. So there are 3 areas in the game currently. Michigan, Alaska, and an area in Russia. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that area, so I'm not going to try. But yeah, and you start in Michigan. I would say that's probably the easiest area. It's a toss-up on Alaska and Russia, which one's easier. I would say probably Alaska, but they each have their own challenges. And as much as I say Michigan is the easier area, it still is challenging. This game is definitely challenging, for sure. As much as I enjoy it, it has also been a game of frustration at times. But yeah, so this is pretty much my progression. You get a little bit of an idea of things. Hey, Ursi. Yeah, I'd say it's like Euro Truck Simulator, except it's just off-road, kind of. At least that's the idea. So this is the area I'm in right now. So every area has more than one map. So Michigan has 4, Alaska has 4, Russia currently only has 3, but they're going to have a 4th part come out fairly soon, within the next week or 2, and it's going to be free. They have more or less made it clear there will be DLC in the future, so I assume that they're going to expand what areas are in the game. But even with there only being 3 areas in the game, each of the 4 maps of at least Michigan, it's pretty expansive. So I'm currently in Island Lake, but you start in Black River, and you can kind of see this flow chart thing of how these different maps are connected. So in Island Lake, I am currently trying to do a mission. So this is the overall. I like to use the mouse just for the navigation of the actual map. But I'm over here. I'm in a truck called the Western Star 6900 Twin Steer. It's a very long truck. It's kind of a funny truck, but I have quite a few trucks. As a matter of fact, I have 4 trucks in this area. So these are all the trucks that are in the area. And then there's other various things that are in the area as well. This kind of gives you an idea. I'm currently doing a mission, which I don't have tracked, so we'll go ahead and track that. I believe it's under Husky Fording. So there's 2 types of missions. There's the main missions, then there's side missions, and they each have their own tabs. So these are all the side missions. I've done quite a few of them, but there's also probably a number that I have yet to discover. So if you look at the map and you see grayed out areas, these are parts that I haven't really looked at yet, so I don't really know what's there. There are watchtowers, so it kind of works like the Ubisoft games where you unlock the watchtower and it gives you vision of an area, but it doesn't cover everything. Some maps are better than others on how much coverage you get, but all these gray areas are areas I have not seen yet. But yeah, these are some side quests, but the one I'm really worried about is this main quest. So the check marks are all the ones I've already done. And a lot of the main quest ones will give you further progression. So if I go over to Dyson Diesel, I have 3 quests here, but I can't do them. They're locked out. And it tells you why they're locked out. But in this one in particular, it says complete power lines. So to do that one, I have to go over and do power lines, which is the one I really want to do right now. So let's go ahead and have it start tracking this quest. So we have 3 objectives to do as part of this quest. We have to bring metal planks to 3 different places, and more or less what we're doing is the backstory of this is at least in the Michigan map is there was some kind of disaster and there's been heavy flooding and other things, I guess storms and what have you. And right now all of the power lines have been knocked out in a few places, so we have to bring supplies in to repair them. So the downward arrows are where we have to deposit. Up arrows are where we can find supplies to do it. So we're pretty much right next to one of the areas to grab metal planks. So I'm going to go ahead and get going on that. So here's our truck. Now this truck is very long. It can carry twice as much cargo as a normal truck, but as a consequence, it has a horrendous turning circle of being so long. So yeah, let's go ahead and do our cargo management. We're already here. So we don't want wooden planks, we want metal planks. Now metal planks take up twice the space as wooden planks would. So our capacity is 4, but metal planks take up 2 slots. So we're gonna do 2 of those. Yeah, my headphones are definitely turned up too loud. Let me... Hopefully that's better. I might turn up the music as well, now that I know that for sure my my headphones have turned up too loud. We'll just go back to the 50 that I had it on before. That seemed about right. We'll play the audio by ear. So to go, I know this map fairly well, but you can put waypoints down, especially when you're first starting this game and you don't really know. You can just go ahead and put waypoints down. It's easier to do with the mouse, but you can put down very precise waypoints if you want to. But once you get to learn the maps, you don't really necessarily need to do that if you don't want to. But this will get us to our first objective. Actually, I have to plan this out. So this one's probably going to be the hardest for our truck to do because of its horrendous turning circle. So maybe we hit this area and then we go over here and do this one. Hopefully I can back up here. All right, but this first one's really close to where we are, so we just need to get going. So if you look over in the lower right, you'll see a lot of what I'm doing. So I currently have it in automatic. This thing's called twin steer because it has 2 turning axes, but it kind of needs that to help it with the turning circle. But even with that, it's still a pretty bad one. But there's a number of things I can do. Whoa, we're gonna tip. I gotta be careful here. I don't want to tip over, so I'm just gonna go ahead and play it safe. We're gonna use a safety line here. Oops. So there's a couple of different ways it'll let me do it. Why does it keep turning off? Whenever I get the mouse, it's that's weird. Oh, there we go. So we can winch to things. I can either do this with mouth control, which is a lot easier, or you can do it with the controller. You hit attach winch. You pick which winch point you want to use. So let's say I want to do this one, and then it will give you viable places. This works okay for this point, but when there's a lot of choices, it's a lot more frustrating to do it this way. So yeah, we'll winch up here. Give it a little bit of tension on that line. I don't think I'm going to flip. Let's put it in low range. And I'm also going to lock my differentials. So, if you're not really all that into motor vehicles, you might not know what a lot of that means. Locking differentials. So to just explain really simply what a differential is. A differential is going to control how the power is delivered from the drive shaft to the wheels. So the driven wheels in this truck are going to be the rear wheels, because it doesn't have all-wheel drive. Later trucks I'll be driving will have all-wheel drive, and we'll see how that works. But normally a differential will send power to the wheel that has the least grip, and this is to help with a turning circle. So normally speaking, when you take a turn, the tire that's going to have the best grip is going to be the inside tire. So if you're turning right, it'd be the tire on the right. The tire that's going to have the least grip is going to be the one on the outside. So to take the turn smoothly, you want to send more power to the tire on the outside because it has more distance to travel and it has less grip. And that really does help with turning, but the problem with that in the off-road sense is if a tire doesn't have very much grip, let's say it's off the ground, you're on uneven terrain. Well, that's actually kind of bad to send all the power to the tire that's up in the air. So what happens when you lock a differential is both tires will turn equally, giving you a little bit better power delivery in uneven or boggy terrain. All right, so we're here. All we have to do is deliver, and there we go. We've built that bit of power line. All right, we cannot go in low range and reverse, so I'm gonna have to turn that off. I'm not sure if I want to turn around or just reverse here. Where we need to turn is right here, so I'm gonna just try reversing into it. So you can actually go into reverse, but if you just hit the brake key and hold it in, you reverse as well in automatic, so it's fine. You can't do that in low range, but you can do it. All right. So as much as this truck does not have all-wheel drive, it's a pretty fairly powerful truck, and it comes with okay tires. This truck I was able to unlock for free. There's a number of quests or that will give you a truck as a reward, but there's also trucks you can just find in the wild. We're probably going to have to take a 1,000-point turn here because of the horrible turning circle. All right, we made it. This truck would be... Oh, never mind. I forgot I already did one of my deliveries. All right, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and winch it for simplicity's sake because I'm getting a little stuck here. I could go in low range and get the diff lock going as well. So in the lower right is more or less how I am changing the controls of the truck, whether I have it in low range with the diff lock on or I put it into automatic. When I put it in automatic, the diff lock turns off. With the trucks that have switchable differentials, you cannot have the diff lock on while in full-on automatic. You can only do it in low range. There are trucks that have the differential locked all the time, and then there's no limitation with that, other than you can't turn it off. In the lower left is some status of my truck, my damage status. So right now I don't have any damage on this truck, so there's nothing really to see there, but you have the different parts. So the tires, the fuel tank, the engine, the gearbox, and the suspension. If I run into things or have, you know, run over a rock too hard and might damage my suspension, that stuff will happen. Just above that you have the fuel. So this is a pretty... this truck burns fuel pretty heavily. So you can see the fuel consumption as it happens, but you can also see the actual fuel, the tank of the truck and how we're doing here. So we're about 2/3 of a tank here. And as I said, this truck burns fuel pretty aggressively. Now that is a little bit of a problem because where I am right now, there is not a lot of logistics to support me. So one of the trucks I brought does have fuel and repair parts just to help support the trucks that are here, because my garage, which are kind of your base of operations, I don't have one on this map. So the closest one is in an adjacent map, and it's on the far other side of that map. So we're kind of having to be a little bit self-sufficient out here. Yeah. As much as this is in America, they do measure the fuel in liters, and this truck is burning fuel quite heavily here. You have different classes of vehicle. This is pretty much a heavy-duty truck, and it's very large. So, all right. So we did that part of the thing. I think I'm going to switch over to a different truck. Night's starting to fall here, so I'm just going to stick the truck off to the side so it's not blocking the path. I don't want to put it in the bog, though. We'll turn off the engine so it's not burning more fuel. Put on the parking, or the handbrake. And we'll switch over to another truck here. So all we have to do to switch to trucks is just grab one. I'm not sure which one I want to use here. We'll use the white Western Star. I think that's the best truck of the trucks I have here. This one, the twin steer, was here. It was right here. There's a quest you can do. So it was already on this map. So I've just been kind of using it out of convenience. The other trucks I had to bring here. So we'll go with this one. So this truck has switchable all-wheel drive and switchable diff lock. Hey, Math. So let's go ahead and... so we need to get another thing of metal planks. And then we need to go and repair this... Oh, it's your birthday today? Happy birthday. Yeah, so we have to repair this last one. So the only place on this map that has the metal planks is right here. But you'll note that there's other supplies. These are trailers we can pick up if we want to. You know what? It looks like there's a trailer closer. Maybe we'll grab a trailer so you can see how that works. There's also another trailer over here, but this one, we can see what type of trailer it is by just hovering over it. So this is a semi-trailer. I have to have specific attachment gear to pick this up, so I can't really do that. But this one over here, I believe, is not one of those. Oh, no, that's also a semi-trailer, so I guess it's not an option. There's another one over here, but it's actually further away, so... Oh, these are all semi-trailers, so no, that's not going to happen. You have to have the proper attachment gear for that, so... I guess we're going to go get the... let's switch on our lights, because it's starting to get dark. Switch on our all-wheel drive, because we'll want that. We'll do it without navigation. I think I know which way to go, and I can always double-check. Yeah, so this is our logistics truck here that I brought over here to help us out because we don't have a base. So it has fuel and repair parts. So if I need that, I can always drive it over or drive to it, either way. I just refueled this truck, so it's fine. It also burns fuel pretty aggressively. It's got a... oh, I'm not going the right way. I thought I was turning on the wrong path. It has an off-road gearbox, which is nice and all, but it does cause the fuel consumption to be kind of bad. There's a lot of ways you can help with fuel consumption. The gearbox is going to be a big thing, so if you have an off-road gearbox, what the off-road gearbox does is give me a lot more options. I do have a high range, but I have 3 low-range gears, which really helps when you have a switchable diff lock truck, because you can go a little bit faster while having that diff lock engaged, because as I explained earlier, you can't put the diff lock on when you're in normal full auto drive. But the other things that you can do to help with fuel consumption, if you have all-wheel drive, having it off will help. So right now I have all-wheel drive on because I kind of need it. But if I were to turn it off, the fuel consumption would definitely improve. Let's just try that. So I turned it off, and you notice it kind of drops down a bit. It's not going to be, it may be like 2 or 3 different, but you know what, let's just go into low range here. We'll go high, low range, put our diff lock on. Oh, I didn't want to. And then when we turn that, come on, there we go. Didn't want to go back into auto. And then the truck itself and what engine it has is another thing that will really affect the... will affect the fuel consumption as well, but that's dependent on the truck and what engine you put in it. There's a lot of upgrades you can do. When you first start playing this game, it's kind of tricky because you don't have a lot of the upgrades unlocked. And tires are a big factor. Like this truck right now, I don't remember, I think I have off-road tires on here, but they're fairly good tires, so we're not struggling too much with this mud. But if I had highway tires, it would be a lot more difficult, and that's kind of what you start with a lot of trucks. They're going to be a lot more challenging. Alright. So we're moving along here. If I don't like the fact that night is descending, I can speed through time. But I have spotlights on this truck, so... Oh. little bit of a hitch there. So it illuminates things pretty nicely once night happens, so I don't think I'm going to do that. We'll get to see how the nighttime looks on stream. Probably gonna have to go in low range here and get that diff lock. There we go. There is quick winching, so if on the controller, if I just hit the Y key, it immediately draws a winch line. Problem is, it oftentimes does the closest thing, which oftentimes isn't ideal. Just to demonstrate, that bush, it's a little tiny bush. Now, it's not a little tiny bush, I just pulled it over. So, some winch points aren't really gonna help you too much, especially if you're on a bigger, heavier truck. So, that's where using the fine-tune control is usually, you know, works out better for you. But if you need a winch point really quickly, and you're not so choosy, the quick winching is yeah, it works, okay. We probably don't need low range anymore. But yeah, a lot of this game, it can be chill, but it can be frustrating too, because I don't know how many times I have gotten pretty close. Oh, there's a little bit of damage there. I think I hit that fallen tree. But I don't know how many times I've been really close to my objective and then had my truck flip over or gotten stuck in the mud and I had nothing nearby to winch away from. There we go. A little bit more damage. 2 damage is fine. We'll be fine. And we've got that truck for repairs. I mean, obviously I don't want a damaged truck if I can avoid it, but... Alright, so far so good. Honestly, this part of the map, really your challenge is just this map is boggy. It's got a lot of mud. And if you've got a good truck with good tires, this part of the map is actually not that difficult. The maps that are more difficult are the ones that have a lot of sloped terrain and that can be real tricky, a lot of rocks. As a matter of fact, the previous map on this location has a lot of that. A lot of rock climbing, hill climbing. And also on most of the maps, the way isn't as clear. Yeah, so this truck can only hold 1 of these metal planks, but that's all we need. So we just need to... How do we want to get there? I am not as familiar with this part of the map. There's no real direct route. So this is kind of a direct route if we want to take the water. But as you can see here, I mean, I haven't really been in this area, but this is a bridge that we can build later, but it's not currently built. So that's what this quest here is all about, is building this bridge. So as I was explaining, in a lot of the maps when you first start, there's a lot of things like that. So these bridges here, I built, or I gave the supplies to build. So they weren't there before. So if I wanted to get over to this part of the map, it wasn't so easy. I would either have to take an alternate route or, you know, what have you. I think we're going to have to go the long way around. I don't think there's really an easy path here. Yeah, see, the big problem with night is reversing. I don't have the advantage of the headlights and spotlights. See, when I look forward, we've got plenty of vision. Alright, let's go. So these metal planks are really heavy. That will cause us a little bit of issues. It might cause us to bog down, but I think we'll be fine. But if you're newer to this game, always be mindful of your surroundings. Because oftentimes it's hard to predict when you're going to get bogged down. So always keep an eye out for winch points. If you're in an area that might be muddy and you don't know how bad it's going to be, make sure you have a tree nearby to winch to, otherwise you'll get stuck and there's not really anything you can do about it. Yeah. This is a good truck, though, so we'll be fine. I might want to put it in low range for this bit. We'll go low range plus, get that diff lock going. The other limitation of engageable diff lock is you can't use it when you're on a harder surface or it'll do damage to your suspension. That's not a problem for trucks that have always on diff lock, but yeah, we made it through there fairly easily. I'll keep the diff lock on, the diff lock and the low range on for a little bit longer, just until we get past this bit. All right, that's good enough. We might need it again for here, but I have faith. Yeah, see, always keep an eye. I don't know how well you guys can see it. I honestly can't see it all that well. That's, again, the challenge of the nighttime. But keep an eye on your tires. If they start to sink, that's a good sign that you probably should switch into low range, give you more grip. I think we just keep going, yeah. Because shortcutting this way, well, I guess it profits us a little bit. We'll take a right here. Sometimes the shortcuts are tricky, but I think this is the more direct path. So there's one of the watchtowers, but I already unlocked it a while ago, so. Yeah, we got a little bit more firm terrain here. Bouncy, though. Alright, I'm a little hesitant to this area because there's... Anytime you see some kind of slope, you have to take it a little careful because you don't know if it's going to flip you. Yeah, it'll be fine. This map, as I said, the main problem is just getting stuck in the mud. Once you have that kind of figured out, this map's fairly easy. After we do this quest, I'll probably switch over to... probably Alaska, because Alaska's the map I've done the least with. Done a little bit more with Russia, but I want to hold off on Russia because, as I discussed earlier, they're going to expand that. Probably taking this way is going to get us there sooner. At least I think so. Yeah, I mean, this is a more major road, but sometimes it's deceiving. This could be all boggy and actually harder for us, so we'll just take the more direct path. Sometimes the map isn't... Honestly, so this is a sequel to a game called, to answer your question, Leo, is this the off-road experience I've been looking for? There was, this is a sequel to the game called SnowRunner, and I've like long had that in my wish list on Steam, but I've always kind of held off on it. But this game is so much more improved. There's a lot of variety in the quests. SnowRunner was exclusively in Russia, whereas this has more areas. So yeah, really, honestly, this has been a lot of fun for me. And there's just a lot to do in this game. All right, there we go. So there's our reward. So we got both experience, which is the stars, and cash. Now, what that also did, because it was a main quest, let's turn off our engine so we're not just burning fuel sitting here. What that also did is it allowed us to do more main quests. So that opened up instruments of development. Then some of these things also unlock. Wow, I don't have very many of these to do. I'm completely done with that line. Completely done with that line. So I literally have 3 quests left. There's another map on this section, and I haven't done any main quests on that, so I'm going to start to assume this is still here. That's telling me to go to Smithville Dam, which is the other map. Okay. So is that all stuff at... It sounds like it. Ah, there we go. This one takes us to Drummond Island, which is the last location. So it seems like the last quest is there. Some things like they'll tell you, so drilling operation underway is another part of you doing that objective. Now, I don't know what that means, but this one gives you access to the location. So if we do this, if we send 3 drilling equipments to the warehouse, so right now the warehouse doesn't really do anything, but once we do that, then we can pick up cargo and stuff. I think that's what I'm following from that. Now, where would we get drilling equipment? Ah, from the abandoned drilling site. So to do that, we'd probably want to fix the bridge, which is bridge the gap. I'm not sure if I've activated that quest yet. So, bridge the gap, I have. What do we need to do for bridge the gap? We need to get 2 wooden planks. So we get wooden planks from the log station or from the sawmill. Sawmill is probably closer, so I'm going to jump into a different truck, because there's a truck literally right there. We're going to jump into the Fleet Star here. Fleet Star is a good truck. It's one of the trucks you get really early in the game. And it's probably your best truck for the early game because it has all-wheel drive and other things. And it has a lot of upgrade options. It's not as good as the other truck I was just in, but because I don't have that off-road gearbox, it has better fuel consumption. I'm going to go ahead and advance time because I don't have as good of headlights on this truck. So to do that, we just go into the map and then there's skip time. So we'll skip to 6 o'clock in the morning. And hey, we have light. Alright, let's get going. We'll pick up we need 2 wooden planks. Okay, boop boop. Alright. How do we get there from here? Oh, pretty simple. We just take a right here and then we just go until we find the quest. Alright. Easy enough. Turn on our all-wheel drive. So you can actually see which tires which wheels are driven when I turn all-wheel drive on and off. Which is kind of cool that they do that. Oh. Thankfully it didn't do any damage, but... Okay, so we want to keep to the right here. Alright. Now we have a box here. This might just be where you activate the quest. I'm actually curious. Let's see. Because there's usually a zone you activate a quest. Yeah, this isn't where we deliver. It's just where we activate the quest. And then there's the spot where you actually deliver. Hopefully I'm headed the right way. I think I am. Ooh, this is a little trickier road. Still kind of foggy, so... not the best vision. Alright, we're getting there. I do have to be careful tipping over if there's an angled slope or something. Because now I'm top heavy with the logs, or the planks. Okay, we have another box up ahead. This might be where we deliver. No. I see another box down below. Sometimes you have to do quests in a specific order, too, so there might be more to this quest. We'll find out. There goes the bridge getting built. Oh, okay, that was it. It was a fairly cheap... Let's turn our handbrake on so we don't just keep rolling. Yeah, okay. Now we can do, wait a second. Oh, okay, corporate expansion is yet another bridge quest. Well, we don't need to do that. Let's turn up our engine so we're not burning fuel unnecessarily. We want to do, it was this one, right? The drilling equipment. I'm going to assume the drilling equipment is 1 space, so I'm not going to be able to fit all 3. Yeah. Okay. We just need to cross the bridge here. I thought I turned off my engine. I guess I didn't. Whoops. Oh, okay, it built the bridge here too. Or there already was one. Didn't look like there was one on the map, right? Yeah, that looks like nothing on the map, but I guess maybe it got built? I don't know. We'll see if it changes once I actually get vision of it. But on the map, it doesn't look like there's a bridge there, which is kind of weird. I do have to keep my eyes peeled because this is an area I haven't been before. There may be unlockables. Now, I've unlocked all the upgrades, so if you look here, according to this, there's 2 vehicles I have yet to find in Michigan. But I have all the upgrades and I have all the watchtowers, so that part's done. I don't really see anything over here, but I'm not really looking all that hard. Alright, so drilling equipment. Oh, drilling equipment's quite big. I can't hold... Oh, wow. So the only truck that I have that can haul the drilling equipment is that big long one. Alright. So that makes this a lot more interesting quest. I have to do that 3 times? Jeez. Alright. We might hold off on that quest. Hey, Iggy. Another way I can do that quest... Yeah, I haven't streamed in a while. It's been quite a while. Another way I can do this quest is to get a longer, like, trailer. But none of my trucks are set up for that. And as I said, I don't have a garage over here. So if I were to do this quest, I either have to use this big long truck, which is going to be kind of tricky to get here because that road is kind of windy. Or I get a truck that can do the trailers. Alright, well, I was planning to go to a different area anyway, so let's do that now while I'm thinking over how I want to do that. Let's go over to Alaska. So Alaska, I've only seen this one map, Northport. The other ones I have yet to unlock. So I kind of would like to do that. And hey, we want to see some snow, right? And it's called SnowRunner. Alright. So I only have 2 trucks here. I have the Royal BM17 and I have the Hummer H2. As far as upgrades and stuff, I may have gotten all the ones that are on this section of the map, but what I'd really like to do is I'd like to unlock. So to get from one map to another, you go through these gateways. And right now, as you might have seen when I was here, they're locked away. I'm not exactly sure what I need to do to unlock them, but I'm sure it's going to be one of these main quests. So we've got Port Puller Base Supply. So we need to haul a whole bunch of various things to which location? To the polar base. Ah, right there. I see it. Okay. So we don't know which things are going to come from where. Because some of these locations may only have one of these things that I need. Fuel is more than likely going to be at the gas stations. So that one's pretty easy to figure out. But the bricks and metal, we don't really know. I happen to know for a fact that this place has metal because I've used it earlier. There are a couple places on the map I still need to unlock too. These rock falls. The rock fall and the stone fall. Which do require metal to repair. Or get rid of. Okay, so that's that one. I don't see a reward other than the monetary. So I'm not sure if that would unlock or not. Let's see what other ones we got. So this one just needs fuel. That one's really easy. We might as well just do this one. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one because it's so easy. Yeah. Now normally it wouldn't be as easy because this bridge here isn't normally here, but I built that earlier. But yeah, we just need to get here, get some fuel, and then drop that down to the port. That seems fairly easy. So, all right, let's jump over into our truck, the Royal BM17, which is right there for whatever. Oh, because I just built the bridge. I'll show you some of the customization stuff. So one thing you can do is you can just go in here into the interface options and just hit recover. That'll just instantly transport you to your garage, which will repair your truck, refuel it, but also you can do a bunch of customization. I think I've customized this thing as much as I can, but this is where the upgrades and stuff come in. So I have yet to find this particular upgrade. So these are the different engines. I think it starts with this one, which I guess I could sell if I wanted to get a little bit of cash, but I'm doing all right for cash right now. I found this as an upgrade, so I went ahead and installed that. And I think this one's a more generic engine. Some engines have more than one truck they can go into, so gearbox. So balanced. I could get the off-road one, but as I said earlier, it burns fuel a lot more, and I don't know if I really need it. You got your suspension, so I could raise up the suspension, which would allow me to get bigger tires, but I don't have this one yet, so that's another upgrade I need to get. These are all the different tires. So this is where both your leveling up with experience really matters, because when you first start, the only thing you're really going to have access to is highway tires, which, as you can see here, on-road performance is pretty good, but everything else is not so great. Off-road's average and mud is poor. And considering that you're more likely going to be spending a lot of time off-road, not really ideal. All-terrain gives you a little bit better abilities. Off-road, even more so, but you start to sacrifice your on-road performance, but who really cares, because you're going to perform really well on roads in most cases. You will have mud tires, but not all of the trucks have those. And then you have chained tires, which I do have on this guy. I can't fit the bigger ones, though, because I don't have the race suspension. And you have your winch. I just have your stock one, but you do have various things. I haven't unlocked this one because I haven't leveled up enough, so we have to get to level 16 for this one. Spare wheel. Again, I haven't ranked up enough for it. Your frame add-ons. This is where you put all your different attachments. So you can put a big crane. You can put a flatbed. The van body is for repairs. This one you saw earlier. This has both repairs and fuel. Seismic vibrator is for specific quests. Sideboard, just like the flatbed, it's going to haul cargo. I think it helps a little bit if you tip that the cargo doesn't spill out, which is something that can happen. Fuel tank, I think that's self-explanatory. Loading crane, which you can put on with a bed, because I already have a bed attached. You get to see exactly what that looks like. This you need for some quests, but if you tipped over and you lost your cargo, this is how you would recover it. And then your saddles are how you mount those semi-trailers. So high is for some types of semi-trailers and low is for others. And then you have your snorkel, which allows you to go in deeper water. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and install that. It's not that expensive. Might as well. Alright. That works for me. You also have some cosmetic stuff you can do. Like if we want to put those lights on. I guess it's not really an option here. Well, that's... Oh, okay, here we go. There. Yeah, so we'd want this if we wanted to have better lights and stuff. Man, it's cheap. Why not? Yeah, I think that's about all we can do. We can also customize the rims. The rims are pretty much free, so you can do whatever you want with these, depending on what you want to do. I don't really... Yeah, that's fine. And then you got your paint job. Some of them are more special paint jobs, like down here. You get like multiple colors, but then you have the generic colors that every truck can do. I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah. All right, let's get going. All right, so where do we need to get? We need to get to the fuel. I'm going to go ahead and put a marker down so I know where to turn. It's going to be there, and we're going to turn in there. Then we want to turn here. And then we go there, and we pick up our fuel. And then we're just going to reverse that track, more or less, and then go down the bridge. All right, off we go. So this truck has no potential for locking differentials, which is a little bit of a problem, but we're fine. This truck I got in Alaska. It was just sitting around, and I picked it up. Oh, this is my progression in Alaska. I don't think I showed this. So I have 8 of the 23 upgrades. I only have 4 of the watchtowers, but that's because I'm only in one area so far. And I've only found 1 of 3 vehicles. Now, this is misleading because I found that these numbers tend to go up, how many trucks are available, but those are just the trucks you just find. There are trucks you also get through quests, which is how I got the Hummer, also in Alaska. Alright. We get paved roads here, which are nice. These are icy, but I have chain tires, so that helps me with that. Whoa. Oh. If you ever hear me honk a horn like that, that's because on the controller, that's a left thumbstick. And I just sometimes I do it on accident, trying to make a turn one way or another. Oh, there's a little bit of suspension damage because I went over a rock. Yeah, but we don't need to have all-wheel drive right now, and it helps with the fuel consumption. Like right now, we're only burning 3 to 4 a minute. Once we turn off all-wheel drive on and we have to do a little bit more acceleration, we'll see that go up. But this map is pretty tricky because snow, there's not really a whole lot you can do. You're going to get bogged down in it no matter what type of tire you have. So you just have to kind of take it easy. Yeah, we're going to have to go into low range, I think. And I can't lock the differentials in this truck, so we're going to struggle a little bit. We could always winch if we're desperate, but I think we're going to make it okay. We could also winch if we want to speed the process along. Alright, come on. You can do it. Yeah. Come on. Alright. Yeah, before I repaired that bridge, this is the only way you had to go if you wanted to get through a lot of the map. Alright, we can turn that off now. Alright, off we go. So I don't know how good this truck is. I mean, it has all-wheel drive, which is somewhat of an asset, but the fact that you can't get locking differentials, I think is a little bit of a problem, because honestly, that's probably more important than the all-wheel drive. Because there's a lot of trucks that I have that don't have all-wheel drive, and they do okay. We'll get some gas, but that's not how we get our shipment. The shipment is in the other spot here. Alright, cargo it up. There's our 2. Yeah, so this one is not all that difficult, but this is one of those ones where you really needed to do some of the work I've done on this map to open it up. Building a bridge. And there's a couple obstacles I've cleared. I haven't cleared them all, though. We just go up here, and then I think we make a right, and then we get back on the road. And this game runs pretty well, too. I mean, I have I have a pretty good system, but I have all the settings cranked up, and it looks pretty nice. At least to me, it does. We're probably going to need to spank it into low gear, but while we have the momentum, yeah, momentum's starting to get killed. Let's go. The low range. So we keep an eye on the tires. That's going to be your kind of sign on how things are going. Once we kind of get above the snow and the mud, we know we're starting to get more grip, and we could probably put it in. But gotta turn the wheels back and forth, try and get going here. Yeah, we might need to winch. I mean, I think we'll make it, but it'll be... But now you get a little bit of an idea of more what this game is about. It's getting stuck in mud and having to winch yourself out. You do have to be careful. If I kept winching on that tree, I'd eventually pull it over. Bigger trees and like telephone poles and stuff, you can winch to your heart's content, but smaller trees and stuff, depending on the weight of your truck. Alright, we can probably... Our tires are above the earth. Alright, there we go. I don't know where to take the turn, though. I have to go over the bridge. I remember that much. We don't need our all-wheel drive. Let's get better fuel consumption. You do have to be careful on the ice, because I might slide a bit. I think it's just going to be off to the left. Should be paved most of the rest of the way. If not all the way. Yeah, I think that's it there. Kind of hard to miss it. Oh. Whoops. Again, no damage done, so we're fine. I think it was the American flag that stopped us. Alright. That'll do. Alright. Nice and easy. I highly doubt that unlocked anything for us, but we can always check. Yeah. We're still locked there. Forgot to pour myself tea, so take a second here. You know what? Time passes while I'm here, so I'll pause. Just gonna pour myself some tea.